Hi, we're back. Yeah, I'm one of her kids. The other one is in the room somewhere, probably on Minecraft.
No. He's
Oh,
actually
no.
studying. Come on. He's studying.
What was he studying?
I'm not sure.
Well,
Let's say he's
we'll
there.
find out. Oh, I'll ask him later. Okay. Yeah. So you want to talk about maturity? Is it?
I think so. We thought that might be a good subject. Maturity. I mean, is it something your generation even talks about anymore? Maturity.
Sometimes, not a lot. I don't think it's like a common topic. Like you don't hang out and talk about it.
But I'm sure surely your
But that's
generation
so nice.
also has a sense of like you want to measure where everybody's at, like who has arrested development, who is doing okay.
Wow, we're not that judgmental.
Not judgmental, but
you go around evaluating other people's growth.
more to evaluate yourself lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. No.
So y'all don't use the word maturity very much.
No.
Language change over time.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So what do you use?
As in, we just don't talk about it. I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
How
It's
interesting.
not like an interesting topic,
Okay.
like for dinner conversation. I think.
Shows you what has happened over the years with the
You used to
consumption
talk about
culture.
it, man.
Eh,
you're
I don't
young.
know, man. I can't remember when I was 20 what we used to talk about. I guess we did talk about a lot of nonsense too.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. But I think when I was growing up in church, there was quite a bit of teaching about like growing more mature stages of faith and things like that. I think.
Oh, you're
do
talking
you feel
about like Christian, like spiritual maturity. You're just talking about like in general character development.
both lah.
Because I think it's understood to be like different things.
Do you think they're different though?
I think they're not mutually exclusive, but you can be a mature person and not be a Christian and not have like spiritual maturity. So yeah.
That's true. Yeah, I think there's overlap.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that can be also a bit of difference. That's a good point.
That is okay.
So recently though, we have just started some gardening. You might not be able to see the plants down here. I'll hold it up to show you.
My
I have
mom is very
been
proud of them.
sort of
She's
like
been-
I've been sort of like a serial killer of plants. So
no,
this
but these
is
have been like surviving and thriving. Okay,
yeah.
like, look
So
at
this
our
is success.
Our mint
Success
is like
story.
bushy.
Success story.
It's amazing.
So a little shout out to a new friend of ours called
Yeah,
John
my
Wai,
friend John
who
gave
actually
me
gave us
Plants.
little baby plants to begin with. So actually, speaking of maturity, I think the starting point is quite important. Like seeds or saplings. And then also when they are very young, they were really quite susceptible. I looked after them quite carefully every day.
Yeah.
And I still kind of do look at them and talk to them every day, but once they sort of start growing, you already have some measure of confidence that okay, it's actually going to live, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Emotional support is important. You talk to them a lot. I feel like if you don't talk to them, they'll probably die.
I won't say I talk to them a lot, but I do, yeah.
For maturity, I mean, emotional support is important, in my opinion.
What else would be important for both spiritual maturity and character development?
The amount of hair I'm dropping is appalling. My brain is stalling.
How about knowledge? I
Sustenance.
bet just knowing
What
stuff.
you feed off. Yeah, like knowledge, I guess, and what kind of knowledge you
That's what
acquire.
that's kind
and
of like what you're
sustenance,
talking
right?
about sustenance.
Yeah. Fertilizer. We're going to plant analogy. Fertilizer, soil. Okay, so emotional support can be you talking to a plant, and what is the sunlight? For spiritual maturity, I'd say it's God probably. But like for like general maturity, I think
Maybe
knowledge
a sense
would
of purpose.
knowledge would be like the soil and the fertilizer, right? Then sunlight would be like it's their food, you know. It's their food when they get older.
We are making this out as we go, so bear with us.
I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, but the thing is, the plants, right? They kind of move towards the sun.
Yes,
You see?
that's
There's
the thing.
some of a
What's it
sense
called?
of direction. I mean,
Geotropism? No.
No,
Phototropism.
phototropism.
Phototropism. Why do you know this? What?
I've been
Oh,
secretly
man.
studying your
Oh
textbooks.
man, there was a streak of lightning. Sorry.
Yeah.
Very bright.
So wow, that's cool. Another topic for another time. But also on the subject of light. So they kind of gravitate towards the light, right? Do you think maybe that's a good kind of metaphor or picture for
Us going
maturity
towards
too?
God.
That no, we all mature and gravitate towards something. So having something to gravitate towards kind of like energizes the growth process, the maturing process, right? So if you don't have anything to gravitate towards, it might make it harder to want to mature or track your maturity, track your development.
Oh, like if you don't have an anchor, and
Yeah.
there's no baseline.
Or sense of purpose or sense of direction.
Oh, sense of direction. Yeah, yeah. So I guess what your sunlight is most important because it determines where you grow towards. Yeah.
Yeah. And it also gives you a sense of, like a plant, you know a plant is mature when it's grown and it starts to, like if it's a herb, it must smell like a herb, right? The right herb.
When it has fruit. And
When
it
it
has
has fruit,
flowers.
yes, yeah. So it's like the fruit of our lives, right? Jesus talks about that. A good tree brings forth good fruit. So, yeah, I think overall human maturity needs to have a sense of direction, a sense of purpose.
Yeah.
But this is where the challenge is today, isn't it?
What?
Because I feel like there is so much going on in all our lives that sometimes everybody on an average day is trying to do 10,000 things, eat 10,000 things, have 10,000 experiences. Where do you find direction in the midst of all this? Do you observe that in your friends? Like do you feel like that could be a real issue? Something like that?
No, I don't think everyone is trying to do 10,000 things. I have
Okay,
friends who
fair
are
enough.
like super free because I mean COVID, right? So everyone's like stuck at home, not really doing much, or you can't go out, so it's like not really their fault also. Yeah, so I think it depends on the individual, like personality as well and circumstance. What was the question?
But the point of the distractibility
Oh,
of
right,
life today.
distractibility of life. Oh, yeah, like you can be very free and still not really have any purpose in your day because like you're too free. I think that's more my problem. Like I don't have necessarily 1,001 things to do, or even if I do, I don't do them. I just don't do anything, and then I just rot. I mean, I don't rot, but I don't do anything like necessarily meaningful. I'm not like sewing back into myself or into others or into like relationship, which is like the most important thing in my opinion.
Oh, I think you're very humble. You're so into our relationship a lot, and you're doing meaningful work with your organization.
With Solve? Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
I mean, like,
So into
no,
it.
but you're talking about distractibility of life, right? So I'm just saying that if I struggle with that, or when I have struggled with that, it's usually because I'd rather be too free than too busy.
That's true too.
But then after a while, you also get bored. You run out of things to do.
And then you get
bored of
then you
being
swing
too
to
free.
being too busy.
Yeah, then you swing to being too busy.
Possible. Maybe we get too busy, we get tired, then we get bored. We chill too much, we get bored.
Yeah. I think it's like
Either way, it sounds like then the growth path is not very consistent or stable. Hey, that's the other thing we talked about, consistency recently. Do you think that plays into maturity? Is it important?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like consistency is key to anything at all, right? I mean, because your results are made based off like an average day, not just like a one-off. So if your average day is like relatively good, like that would look different for different people, right? Then your results would generally be good as well. Yeah, but again, good is defined differently by different people, so it depends on your definition, your preference, I guess. Yeah, but I think mostly if regardless of whether you have 1,001 things to do or you don't actually have anything on your to-do list that day, as long as you're sowing into other people and back into yourself, like whatever that means for you, try and keep this secular, then then I think that's still being productive and that still counts towards something and produces growth in the long run. Yeah.
I think what you just said is true, whether it's secular or spiritual.
No, yeah. So like
It
for
depends
Christian,
on what you want to sow into yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
like,
unless you don't believe you have a soul or something. But if you believe you have a soul, then I think
even
it's
if you don't
important
believe,
to
even if you're
sow into
atheist,
that.
and if you sow back into yourself by developing skills and talents, then like that produces results in the long run. Right? So
I mean, no, you can be an atheist and still believe you have a soul. You just don't believe there's a God.
Can you be an atheist and believe you have a soul though? They just believe that they die and stay in the earth, so there's no soul.
No,
die,
the soul
stay
could
in
be
the earth.
like, the
You
soul
are a
in a
monkey.
very generic sense, like your emotional core,
Or
your psychic self, that kind of stuff. I think most people will believe that we're just more than our biological material bodies. We're more than that.
But then are you really atheist? I don't know. My atheist friend wouldn't say that. I don't know.
Really?
Yeah,
so
you
it's
die, you
interesting.
stay in ground. That's it.
Well, we're not just talking about die. We're talking about living right now.
But
too.
because you are animal, so there's nothing to it. I don't know. I've never met an atheist with like.
Okay, so anyway,
goes beyond
before we
that.
go, let's round up then about maturity. Lessons we learn from our plants. They gravitate towards the sunlight. So we all gravitate towards something or other. And in the process of that, and we are all growing in one way or another. And in order to grow well, we need some source of nutrition. some sort of connection, maybe somebody will talk to us to look
We need
after
friends.
us. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the direction that phototropism we talk about is important. And then also, if you really want to mature as a person,
Consistency. Is
That's
that
right.
is that what you're going to say? Okay,
consistency. Actually, no, I was just going to say that
So
you
we're on
need
the
to be
same
aware.
page.
You need to be
Oh, man.
aware of where you are at and what you want to mature towards, by having some sense of direction.
That's the
is helping.
same thing as the phototropism.
And
Consistency is
then
the third
after that,
point.
more
Yes,
importantly,
yes.
whatever you do, be consistent because that's when you get the results. Like
Yeah.
the way I consistently talk to my plants and look after them, check in on them every day. So check in on yourself every day, be very intentional about it because you are precious
Oh,
and you are very
intentionality is
precious. Honey.
painful.
Yes, intentionality. In fact, I was telling you that day,
Intentionality
everything
is my
boils
word.
down to ID. Intentionality and
Discipline.
that's right.
Oh, I
That
remember.
actually shapes you up
I'm
to be
surprised.
who you are. So your ID is your identity, and you would want your identity to be a solid, mature one. On that note, we'll talk to you next time. This has been Maboo.
We're really very free.
No, we're not free.